Hello everyone, this is Aaron Valley. I'm going to be showing you a deck profile of DanDaDan Choice Door. I've been meaning to do this about like 2 weeks ago. I've just been really busy on my end for this month, so glad that I'm finally able to show this deck profile. So yeah, so without further ado, we have three copies of the Okarun level 0, which he gets 3,000 power if all your characters are human or strange. Then when he gets reversed in battle, if the number of cards you have in your hand is four or more, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is level one or higher, you get to return this card back to your hand. If it's level zero or climax, then it just stays on board and it'll go to waiting room. So this card's really great. This is pretty much one of the best cards in Volume 1. So, because pretty much he pluses you on board and in hand because by the time you hit like level one to level two, when you're bouncing him back to your hand, by that point you'll definitely want to like clock him as clock fodder once you go to your clock phase. So really fantastic card overall. Because of his second effect, I just play three copies. I'm pretty comfortable with three copies. I've seen people play four copies, which is perfectly fine and understandable because this card's really good. So all right, so next card. Is the level 0 Okarun Brainstormer. So his first effect is when your characters trigger check a climax, can be any climax, choose one of your characters, and that character gets 1,000 power until end of turn. And then his Brainstorm effect is pay one, rest himself, reveal top four cards of your deck, and then for each climax that is revealed among those four, uh, choose a up to one human or strange character in your waiting room and return it back to your hand. So um, the first effect is kind of nice for the fact that sometimes when you attack, if you just need a little bit of a tiny boost to try to win combat sometimes, or if let's say you have one character that you're hoping to win battle, let's say on another lane. So you could probably what you could do is um, you have the ability to choose of how you want to stack that first effect and be able to try to like guarantee which battles you want to win with your characters. So this effect can the first effect can be really handy when you need to win battle, and then the brainstorm effect is this is typical profile that you'll see in pretty much any brainstormer. So overall, pretty decent brainstormer. And then I play just one copy of the level 0 Momo Brainstormer. So first effect is an assist, where during your turn, she's an assist for all level 1 or higher characters in front of her. They get 500 power. And then her Brainstorm effect is pay one, rest yourself, reveal top four. For each climax that is revealed, you perform the following action, which is to look up to three cards on the top of your deck, choose one card among those three, put it to your hand, and then send the rest to a waiting room. So this card's really good for deck speed to be able to dig for pretty much anything you might need. It can also help you get up climaxes if, let's say, you need a particular climax. If you're trying to get your climax combos off, whether it's the Okarun level 1 or the Momo finisher. The Momo finisher, not so much because she grabs her own climax anyways. But yeah, overall, just really when she's needed, I would say personally, having played this card, it's a little bit for me. It's a little bit situational because I already play a lot of cards that give me deck speed anyway. But if it's needed, she's fine as a one of. So overall, yeah, pretty solid card. Yeah, and then the assist is kind of like whatever. It's nothing too great since it's only during your turn. So it's just kind of like negligible. But overall, I mean, decent card. It's fine as a one or two of. So then the next we got one copy of the Seiko Level Zero Climax Swapper, and it's also a Level Zero Bomb. So yeah, basically this is just more so. I play this card more so for the choice climax to make sure I get the level one Okarun combo to try to resolve it as much as possible. So this is just more so for that combo specifically. And yeah, that's pretty much all I can really say about it. Just pretty much straightforward with this card. Just overall good card. Just has generic profiles that are just good in general. So next we have two copies of the Momo Level Zero Bomb. So this card, Level Zero Bomb, and also when this card's battle opponent is reversed, if there's a climax with a door trigger icon in your climax area, You can choose a level 0 or lower character in your waiting room and put it rested in any position on your stage. So this is a really neat card. I actually really like this card a lot. It doesn't always come up, but it can be really handy depending on your game state. So this is kind of like a suit. What's nice about this card is that it's basically a pseudo climax combo. So basically, what you do is with this card, if you sometimes end up drawing this card very early, like at level 0 or level 1, this can be really nice in getting back cards like the brainstormers here, like the Momo and the Okarun brainstormer. It can also help you get out this turbo granny, which I'll explain very soon. Um, so typically when you do resolve this Momo level 0, um, which she also, by the way, also does guarantee resolve that first effect if you bomb using the second effect. So that's also another thing why I like about that card as well. So you will get it whether if you just get a regular reverse or you reverse through the bomb effect. Typically, you're going to get one of these back with her effect. So every now and then, this card can be really handy, and it's always fun to play this card. So next is the 2 copies of Turbo Granny. So all basically a continuous effect. All your opponent's characters get pay 2 encore, and then her second effect is act pay 1. Send this card to waiting room. When you do, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Uh, Search up to one human or strange character among those 4. Reveal it to the opponent. Put it to your hand, and then send the rest to waiting room. So this is just a deck speed card. This is just more so to filter and dig for cards that you might need. Typically, I use this mostly to get the Okarun level 1 combo majority of the time. If I already have the Okarun set up, I'll just look to try to get like specifically just cards I might need. Or let's say like, oh hey, I want to try to get like my early plays like the early play Seiko. So really good card overall. I really like this card as well. It's an oversized since it's at 3,500. It's also a good starting card, so you sit at 3,500. So you pretty much can sit on this card, see if your opponent has to force your opponent to try to contest it. And then if they don't end up not contesting it, then you're able to, on your next turn, use that act ability to try to dig out for cards you might need. All right. Next is the 3 copies of Critical Hit Momo. This is the level 0 Reiki of the deck. Basically, during your turn, she gets 1,000 power, and then when you play her from hand to stage, the cost is you take 1 card from your hand, put it in your clock, and then when you do, search your deck for a level 1 or lower character, put it to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. So just really good card overall. This deck, DanDaDan has two different Rickies. I personally like this one more because the Okarun Ricky has you pay 1 clock yourself, whereas this one is you just put a card from your hand into your clock. So I like that this Momo saves you the stock. So I prefer this. So that way I'm only getting rid of 1 card versus paying the stock and then taking the damage. So to me personally, I think you save more on resources by playing this card. All right, and then the last 2 level 0s I play are 2 copies of the Ira. This card is when you play her on stage from your hand, pay the cost, which is discard a card. If you do, reveal the top card of your deck, and then choose a level X or lower character in your waiting room and put it into your hand. X is equal to the level of the revealed card. So this is just a typical profile that pretty much most decks play. This is just very good utility card. Usually cards like this, you're normally going to be playing like 2 or 3 copies of it. All right, and now moving on to basically my favorite card of the deck. uh, so I'm playing 3 copies of the Sacred Ball event. Um, Pretty much to play this card, if all your characters are human or strange, choose up to 1 character in your clock and return it to your hand. Choose one of your characters, and that character gets the following ability until end of turn. It's on attack, pay 1 twin drive. And then also you put this card into your clock. So Sacred Ball basically lets you grab back any character you might need in your clock, and then it basically will replace that character because the Sacred Ball will go to your clock. So I love this card. It's a really funny, silly card that actually helped me out a lot in games where I will lose out level ones and level threes that I will potentially need at the time when I usually get this when I usually have this card in hand. And more times than not, I've also top decked this card a lot when I needed it, which is another thing why I love this card. It's just I've had so many funny interactions with this card that it is like been very helpful to help me get key cards that I need, especially at level 3. So, and then also this card is also searchable with the level 1 combo. Another thing that I also love about this card. So, and also another thing too, in Volume 2 of DanDaDan, they are getting another version of this card. That's also really good. So I am really looking forward to getting another version of this card when we get Volume 2, especially whenever we get the English announcement. So. All right, here is 4 copies of the Okarun level 1 combo. So when you play him on stage from your hand, if you have another human or strange character, this card gets +1 level and 3,500 power until end of turn. And then his climax combo is with the choice climax. When he attacks, you discard a card. If you do perform the following action 2 times, you look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose a human or strange character or the sacred ball event. Add it to your hand, and then dump the rest. So I personally think this card is extremely underrated because I know a lot of people mostly play mostly either play the 8-bar deck or the 7-bar 1-door deck. So those are usually the more popular decks. This card doesn't really see too much play unless you see people playing the 8-choice deck, more so really 12 because of the level 1 Okarun that works with the level 3 finisher. But anyway, yeah, I think this card is really super underrated. I like that this is a +1. And then on top of that, he also gets decent stats. So like on play, he goes to 6,500 on his own, and then goes to 7,500. So this card will typically beat over most cards. And yeah, it's just overall just very good card. And just also looking up to 3 twice. So when you triple board this Okarun, each copy is looking up to 6 cards. So in total, you're able to dig out 18 cards with the climax combo. So I like that this Okarun is able to filter out practically almost half your deck. So when you triple board this card and do the climax combo, you're easily gonna refresh. You're gonna refresh your deck at level 1 by the time you play this combo. So really, absolutely love this card. And I definitely can't wait for this card to definitely get buffed when we get Volume 2, especially that we're also getting another Sacred Ball event that this card will be able to search. So, all right, next is 2 copies of level 1 Okarun. So this card, what it does is when you use an act ability, this card gets 1,500 power and the following ability until end of turn. And that second ability that he will gain is when he attacks, reveal the top card. If that card is level 1 or higher, put it into your stock. So this card is very helpful with building up stock. Because with this deck, there's a couple cards that I pay a lot of stock with. So this card, in addition to choice, really helps you build up a lot of stock very easily. So that's part of the reason why I play this card. This is just basically to kind of help you establish stock compression if you're able to build it. So overall, a pretty solid card overall. All right, next is 2 copies of the level 1 Queen Sensei. So her first effect is when you play her on stage from your hand, pay the cost, which is discard a card. If you do, choose one character with Momo or Okarun in its card name in your waiting room and put it back to your hand. And then her second ability is when this card gets reversed, if the level of the card's battle opponent is greater than your opponent's, you can send that character into your opponent's memory. So she's a really good tool for removal. Because I will say DanDaDan doesn't have a whole lot of good removal, and I'd say honestly this and the Ira counter are basically your best cards for removal. So that effect comes in really handy when you're facing like standby decks. And then I love the first effect because this basically helps you establish and trying to set up your Okarun combo that I showed earlier, and it also helps you with guaranteeing trying to get the Momo finisher. So This card has been very helpful overall since I play tested and played this deck for about a month, almost like 2 months essentially. But yeah, overall really good card. Next, I play just one copy of the Momo Assist. So basically, first effect is if you do not have another copy of this card on board, all your door triggers, all your door trigger climaxes, um, will get soul trigger when in all your zones when you trigger them during your trigger stop. Um, the second effect is all your other basically all your other level one Momo. This one I believe is the one from the trial deck. I don't play it though. And then the other one is the Momo finisher. It's a global 500 power. Like so that effect is kind of like negligible. But and then the third effect is a basically an assist to human and strange characters in front of this. They get plus 1,000 power. So basically, I just play this card to be able to do just a little bit of extra damage with Door. And then in DanDaDan, this is practically essentially one of their best assists because it gives a 1,000 assist. Um, unfortunately, Volume 1 doesn't have a level 3 assist. DanDaDan's main weakness, unfortunately, is that it's missing a lot of um, key profiles and effects that are very typical in most sets. And thankfully, Volume 2, the next upcoming set, fixes a lot of those issues. But for now, basically, this is when it comes to like boosting your characters, this is like going to be one of your best cards to boost, particularly with a build like this. So, and then last level one that I play is the level one Ira counter. This is an anti-change counter where when you play it, discard 2 cards. If you do, choose one of your opponent's characters whose level is higher than your opponent's level, and then send it to their clock. So really good, really good. Like basically, counters like this, anti-change counters, the level one counters are usually really good and pretty much are considered staples. So cards like this, and like let's say like cards like the Himeno counter and Chainsaw Man, like those types of cards you definitely want to be playing as a one of. So all right, so next, I don't really play too many level twos in this deck. Level twos are pretty much left to be desired in DanDaDan, with the exception of with the exception of Ira, because Ira actually has some decent level two options. But as far as like yellow and red goes, it's not too much. So I kind of did the best I could do. But so basically I'm playing one copy of the Turbo Granny. So this is I don't play the fusion effect, but basically I just use it for the first effect, which is when you play this card from your hand, pay the cost is just pay 2 stock. If you do, free fresh. So unfortunately, I'll be honest with you, I'm probably most likely going to cut this card out. I've never really used it. This is just more so. I play this card as more so as a failsafe, but I've really more so used it. Anytime I hit like choice trigger, I've usually majority of the time will use it to just put it in my stock 9 times out of 10. So I would say honestly, unless you're planning on playing the fusion effect, definitely don't play it if you're looking to use it as a free fresh option. So next is the level 2 Seiko Himeno. Not Himeno, sorry. Seiko Fumio. Yeah, messed that up. But anyways, basically, yeah, it's a Fumio. When you play it, pay 1, discard 1. Your opponent chooses 1 climax from your waiting room, and then they shuffle all the other cards into their from waiting room into their deck. So basically, it's just a decompression tool. And then when this card becomes reversed, if this card's battle opponent is level 2 or lower, you may reverse that character. That effect kind of doesn't really come up much. You just play it because of the Fumio effect. Next is the level 2 Momo counter. When you use this card's backup, your opponent basically mills. They send X cards from the bottom of their deck to the waiting room. X is equal to the number of human or strange characters you have. Um, Unfortunately, aside from the Ira counter, there's not a lot of good options of counters in DanDaDan. Um, I'm basically just playing this just for the sake of to have something to be able to like back something up. Particularly, mostly more so for the Seiko early play. But overall, I'm not a fan. I'm not really a fan of counters like this. We really would have much preferred if we would have had like a free fresh counter or a like a memory kick counter. So definitely once we get something like once we get volume 2, which will definitely have better options, like this card 100% is going to get cut. So that's it for level 2s. Next is the level 3 lineup. So here I got 4 copies of the Momo finisher. So when you play her on stage from your hand, you basically she gets this card. She's able to grab the door climax from the waiting room, just like the Makima from Chainsaw Man. You grab the climax and you're given the option to you can either take the door climax, either put it in your stock or put it in your hand. And then when you play the climax combo, when you attack with Momo, you get 2 choices. The first choice is your opponent stock shuffles, so they take all their stock into their they take all their stock put into their deck, shuffle, and then take the same number of cards on top of their deck and put in their stock. And then look at the top card of your opponent's deck and either leave it there or put into their waiting room. So you either get the option to do that, or the second effect is you can on attack pay 1, ditch 1 to burn 2. So this is the main finisher. Basically, the key end board that you want to build in this deck is playing triple Momo. What you do is basically um, when you triple board, the first 2 Momos, you're going to take this door climax and put it in your stock. And then the last Momo is going to grab the climax and put it into your hand. So overall, when you're playing all 3 Momos, all you're paying is 4 stock. So um, basically, how you go about it is when you do the combo, is your first Momo is going to do the stock shuffle and then hopefully try to snipe out a climax on the top check and then do your normal attack. And then the last 2 Momos are going to do the pay 1, discard 1 to burn 2. So yeah, overall, it's a really good card. It's I love cards like this because I mean I've played the Makima early play for pretty much since day 1, and I love that combo so much. So that's basically the main reason why I play this card. So I'll give my overall final thoughts about the deck later on. But anyways, we'll move on. So next is the Seiko early play. If you have 4 more human or strange characters, this card gets -1 level in your hand. If it also has an experience condition. The experience condition is if the total level of your cards in your clock are level 3 or higher, this card gets plus 2,500 power and hand encore. And then when you play her from your hand, she also heals. So she's your main early play that you're going to be using at level 2 and also as well as level 3. So she's your main healer. She's going to be your main defender essentially. Basically what you're trying to hope for is early play her at level 2, and then assuming if it doesn't get anti-changed, you try to sit on this card as long as you possibly can, and just basically try to just keep your board and then try to establish the Momo end board as best as you can, basically. So, all right, and then the last level 2s that I play is Supernatural Power of Momo. This is another early play. This card is actually in Japan. This card was a tournament promo along with other 3 cards. This is one of 4 tournament promos in Japan. Luckily, in English, we got this card in the actual booster set. Thankfully, in English. So the early play condition of this card is if your waiting room has 2 or less climaxes, this card gets -1 level in your hand. This also has experience condition like the Seiko. If the sum of the levels in your level zone is 4 or more, she gets plus 1,500 power and the ability. On reverse, you can pay 1, discard 1 to deal 1 damage. And she also, on play, also heals as well. So she's another healer. She's basically, I will say, DanDaDan doesn't really have a lot of off finisher options. So basically, this and one of the Momo level 3s in the trial deck are pretty much all you have in terms of off finishers. So that's pretty much why I play this. This is just more so insurance of pushing damage. So like if I only play, let's say if I only play 2 copies of the Momo finisher, I'll try to play 1 copy of this card, and then basically try to do depending on the game state, I'll try to do like burn 2 twice on the other Momos, and then try to do on reverse burn 1 with this. So she's just another extender for the end board, basically. All right, and then as I mentioned, 4 copies of the choice, and four door as I mentioned earlier. So that's pretty much the deck profile. My final thoughts about this deck is that this is a very unexplored deck. Not many people have pretty much played this deck. I'm probably one of the very few who has actually tried this deck. I like this deck a lot. It's a fun deck. It has a lot of potential because of um, the utility and consistency with this deck is pretty good. And also, a lot of people really overlook this Okarun card. The fact that you get a lot of deck speed and it's a +1, which the Ira doesn't do for you. Because the Ira in the bar deck is basically just Mori Calliope from Hololive. But the difference is though is that Ira doesn't get as big compared to Mori in a Hololive. But basically the Okarun, what's nice about him is that he pluses you cards. So that's the one thing that I like about him over Ira. And then the Momo finisher, it's nice being able to not having to worry about doing relying on the climax swap to try to get her climax combo off, since she already gets it to begin with. But my main issue overall, having played this deck for almost 2 months, is that this deck doesn't have a lot of push at level 3, unfortunately. Because the many times I tried pushing with triple Momo or doing double Momo and the off finisher, is I've only ever confirmed maybe 2 games when I won. I've only maybe confirmed 2 games to win for winning. But anytime I've done this, I popped up with the Momo combo. It's been very difficult to try to win with this combo alone. And because usually I just normally don't get enough push. My opponent ends up canceling damage because typically you're only doing 5 to 6 instances of damage. So that's not like nothing too special to write home about. So if your opponent is pretty much compressed, you're really hoping the stock shuffle carries you a lot. That basically that decompresses them, and then hopefully you knock out a lot of climaxes with the stock shuffle. So that stock shuffle is doing a lot of heavy lifting when you're doing the triple Momo combo. So it is not very consistent in winning games and closing games. That's my biggest issue. So that is like, that's pretty much I would say the biggest weakness of this deck, and as well as um, DanDaDan in English particularly as of right now is lacking a lot of tools. So I think once Volume 2 comes in, a lot of this deck changes. And I think honestly, I would still keep the Okarun in here. The Momo, I would debate on what I would do in terms of the lineup for level 3, because they also do get another Momo finisher in Volume 2. So I'm not sure. I essentially that would definitely be a lot of playtesting on my end that I would need to conduct to see which one I would prefer. But other than that, yeah, I think this deck definitely has potential. I would like to still continue playing this deck. Yeah, no, yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts about this deck. And hopefully you enjoyed this video. And I'm probably gonna also do a deck profile on 8 choice, not 8 choice, sorry, 8 bar Ira, um, 8 bar Ira, and then also potentially I haven't tested it yet, but I will also try to do a 7 bar 1 door, because that's the most popular and most successful deck in JP. So I would also like to try to cover that as well. So yep, so that's pretty much it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.